All right, good morning. Again, this is the Wednesday morning GivePulse group. We come together to learn from each other. And today, Daryl Schlesser is going to do a quick training on importing background check dates into user profiles. So thanks, Daryl.
Okay, I'm going to start by sharing my GivePulse screen here. And I have filtered this to look at just two profiles. They're my admin profile and my test account profile. And in both cases, in manage users, I have the background check admin date field exposed. And the first thing I wanted to show you is that it's just really easy to manually update that date. If you click
It looks like Daryl froze up on us again.
Daryl,
you froze up, so we
edit link in the row.
Daryl, you're breaking apart. We can't hear you, Daryl. Daryl, we didn't see any of that.
Okay, and
turn your video off, turn your camera off. It'll probably give you more bandwidth.
Yeah, my internet connection is unstable right now, it appears.
Okay, so try again with your video off, and if it doesn't work today, we'll do it a different day.
Just checking my connection here.
Okay.
Okay. I will start again then. Okay, so I have.
And we can't see your screen anymore.
Sharing my screen again.
Thank you. Okay.
I filtered my GivePulse screen to just two accounts. So my admin account and my test account. And I've got the background check admin field exposed in both. And you can see here now there's a date in one field and no date in the other field. It's very easy to click and manually update or add a date. And you can also delete a date. There's a clear link at the bottom of the calendar that will allow you to clear dates in those fields. So if you have one or two to add or update, that's an easy way to do it. But if you have a large number to add, then it's probably much easier to do an import in GivePulse. And so the first thing you'll need to do that is the upload template. And I'm going to go to Teams. So in our Teams folders under GivePulse, and then admin user tools and user upload, you'll find the template for importing or uploading. And if you click the three dots next to that, you can download that file. And then I'm going to open that file in Excel here and share what it looks like. So this is the template, and across the top, the fields are, or at least the ones that we're concerned about right now, are first name, last name, and email address. And those three field values are needed for every row that you import. And then we have some instruction rows here, and the first instruction row gives the names of the additional fields. The very last one is background check date. So that's the date that, or the field that we're going to want to populate in this template. And I'm going to switch to a different one here. I have a template that's already populated. And so you can see in this copy of the template, I've added, for those two accounts that I had on the GivePulse screen, I've added the first name field, the last name field, the email address field. And in column N, I've added a background check date that we want to import. So for the first of those two accounts, I'm going to import 3/20/2023. And for the second one, 3/21/2023. And before I do that, I need to make some additional updates to this template. So if you read the three instruction rows here, the first row has field names to explain what the custom field numbers above are in the header row. The second one advises that first name, last name, and email address are required for people adds and people updates. And the third instruction row advises that for the remaining fields, you only need to populate them when you're adding new data or adding or updating existing data in those fields. So we're not going to be adding or updating information in any of these fields. So we'll leave those cells blank and it will not impact the information that's already in those cells. But we've got this field populated and it will either add these dates to those cells if those cells are currently blank, or it will overwrite the dates that are currently in those cells if there's a date there right now. And so following the instructions, I'm going to delete these three instruction rows. And then I'll need to save this. And remember that when you're working in a CSV file, you can't just click the save icon to save. You need to do a file save as. And you can just save that over the current copy. And it's going to ask you to confirm you want to replace the current copy, say yes. And then it's going to give you a warning about using CSV files. And yes, we want to use a CSV file, so we're going to keep that format. Now we have that file saved. And in this case, I've saved it to my desktop. And I've deleted the instruction rows, so this file is ready to import. And so at this point, I'm going to switch to GivePulse. So I'm in the Manage Users view, and I'm going to go to Users and select Add a User. And when I get to this field, there's an instruction here that says add a user with the form below or upload a CSV of multiple users here. And that's what I want to do. I want to upload a CSV file of multiple users. So I'm going to click that. And then next, I want to browse to select the file that I'm going to upload. And let's see. So I've selected the file, and I'm just going to check to make sure that I've got the file that I actually want to import, and that it is a CSV file. And then I'm going to click Import Users. So here you can see the first name, last name, and email address fields, and the background check date fields. that I have in my template. The status says user already exists, which is good because these are existing users. We're not adding new users. It also says will become member and impact will be added if there is any. We're not adding any impact information, but we can unclick this send invites checkbox. And that's important because if you don't unclick that checkbox, it's going to send this welcome message to the volunteers. So we've unclicked the send invites checkbox. We've verified that there aren't any errors in the upload data. And then we're going to go back down to the bottom here and click confirm import. This tells me my import is complete. If I was importing a large file of data, it might tell me that my import will be complete in a few minutes and I'll get an email when it's ready. I will most likely get an email confirming that this import is complete as well, but it's complete immediately. So I can now go back to users, manage users. And again, I'm filtering to just those two accounts we imported dates for. And where I had cleared these two dates before we last left this screen, you now see the background check dates, 320 and 321 that I imported. I want to show you for just a moment. If you forget to uncheck the send invite checkbox on the import screen, your volunteers will get a message, and the message is a bit awkward if they're not expecting it. So this is the email message that they'll receive. And it'll say hi and whatever their first name is, and it'll tell them they're now a member of your group. So if they're not expecting, or if they believe they were already a member of your group, that could be a little confusing. So that's why it's important to uncheck that box. And so now you've imported your dates. So what can you do with them? So I'm going to go back to the GivePulse screen here. You can actually filter these dates in GivePulse. So I have two dates here, 320 and 321. If I wanted to look for everyone who completed their background check on 320, I could just put that date in here. It's going to filter that for me. I can filter on a range of dates in this field too. And so to add the second date in the range, I need to put in a space and then a dash, another space, and then the second date. So I'm filtering on 320 to 321. And now I should get both. There we go. But it can be hard to know the full date range that you want to filter for when you're just looking at it in GivePulse. So a better way to do that, if you're trying to figure out, for example, how many of your volunteers are due to complete a new background check this coming fall. I'm going to clear this out. I can just export all of my users. So in this case, I've got a filtered view, but I would export all of my users, and that's going to give me, switch over to Excel here again. So that's going to give me all of the background check dates. So this is the resulting CSV file. I've stripped out identifying information in this one because really all we want to look at are the background check dates. So if this is all of my users, I can filter this, and an easy way to filter is to click in the upper left-hand cell, and you press Control A. That will select all of the fields that you have populated, and you can turn on filters. And the other thing I'm going to do here is just auto adjust these columns so we can see what's in them. And I'm going to go to the background check column and click the filter button. And that's going to let me see, first of all of the years for which we have background check dates in that column. And if I'm looking to see who's going to be due for a background check date this fall, the obvious choice is that I want to look at 2020. So if somebody last did a background check in 2020, they're going to be due to complete another in 2023. And if I click the little plus sign next to 2020 in this list, it's going to tell me that we've got background check dates in October, November, and December of 2020. I happen to know, however, that we also had some people who procrastinated and didn't do theirs until after the first of that coming year. So if I look at 2021, I see that I've also got people who did their background checks in January and even March of 2021. So I'm going to want to look at those as well. So I can unclick 2023, 2022 here because I don't want to look at those people. I don't want to look at the people who did theirs in the fall of 2021. So I'm going to unclick those. So now I'm just looking at the people who did their background check dates at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021, because those are the people who will need to remind this fall that it's time to do another one. So now I can click OK. And that's going to filter my list. And if you look at the very bottom of the Excel spreadsheet here, it says 408 of 511 records. So there are 408 people on this list now who have current background check dates in late 2020 or very early 2021. And that's my list of people that we'll need to contact about doing a background check in the fall of 2023. What questions do you have?
That was great, Daryl. I think you covered everything.
I just had one tiny question. Daryl, do you know if the date format is specific? Like it has to be 2 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, or does it need to be 2 digits, 2 digits, 4 digits?
That's an excellent question. And I haven't tried doing an import with a different date format. So I haven't, whoops, this is the wrong one. Look at a different spreadsheet here. I haven't tried testing it with a different format. But this template that's available in Teams is set up with a date format that works in GivePulse. And so if we look at the date format in this column, it's using a date format, and it's using that formula that gives 1 or 2 digit month, 1 or 2 digit date, and 4 digit year. And that seems to work for uploading to GivePulse, and that's the same format that GivePulse uses if you manually enter the date.
Got it. Thanks.
It's pre-formatted in the template.
Once you have the information of who needs their background check, would you send an invite through GivePulse, or is that through the Sterling website?
I'm going to defer to people who have used Sterling because I haven't. I think in King County we have sent that message out via Constant Contact, which is the contact management tool that we use. That enables us to see who has received and opened the message so that we can track receipt of the notification that they need to take action. But I'll defer to others as to whether there's a way to invite them from Sterling.
Does anybody know the answer to that? I don't think you can invite them through Sterling. I think it's a link that you send them.
So in our county, we give them a heads up email through their regular email. And then you have to upload, so you could use, it's a name and maybe an email. I just did it, but I can't remember. That you upload to Sterling and then you do an invite from Sterling. They get the, it's kind of an invite to create an account.
So even
But-
if they're already in there, they have to create another account?
Well, they have, let me look for the specific wording
Okay,
and I'll get back on.
Daryl, there's a question in the chat box.
Yep. Thanks, Mary.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mary. Can you review how to add the background check tag? I don't use a background check tag. Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're trying to do?
Yeah, Daryl, I wanted to know how to add the tag to the list in GivePulse so that we can enter dates into that.
Oh, are you talking about how to make the background check field visible in your
Yes.
users unit? Sure. I'm going to go back to GivePulse here. So at the top right of your manage users screen, you have a configure layout link. And if you click that, you'll need to look through the list and it'll be, if you don't already have it exposed, it'll be alphabetically in the list somewhere. But the field you're looking for is called background check and then in parentheses admin. And so you want to add that to your view and then you can drag it around and add it wherever wherever you want to see it in the column order. And then scroll all the way to the bottom. And I have something in the way here. All the way at the bottom, you would click apply. And then it should appear in your manage users view.
So there's a difference between a tag and the user field.
Okay, thanks. That makes a lot of sense. I should have figured that out.
Oh, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Looks like Jackie may have figured out the Sterling piece.
Oh, great.
Okay, share. So I think this might have come out when there was a template letter I think you sent out when we first switched to Sterling, or maybe Tim created this and then I tweaked it a little bit as things change each year or as we have more information. But I send a letter out to give people a heads up and where to look and then what to, because a lot of times it's coming from Sterling and I have the subject line in there and then what it says when they open the email. Because it ends up in their junk or their spam folder. So they know to look for it. And then they want to click on in that email to order my background check. So when they do that, or also, wait, there's another blurb that you can add when you send the invite from Sterling. And it just kind of says a little bit of the same thing. That way they know it's me. I put my name in there and my email address, so they know it's not a phishing email. They've been told twice. And I looked at the upload template, and it is, once you have your list of folks that need their background check, if you download that, if you download that from GivePulse, is it in first name, last name format, Daryl? Because you're in the user list, so it is.
Yes.
And then the email, and then that's you change this, save it as a CSV file, and then you upload it into Sterling. And I created some other instructions, which they might be up on Teams, and I just didn't know where to look. It's pretty easy to do. I just kind of followed and stumbled through it.
Yeah, this is all stuff that Jana does, and it's not, I've never used Sterling, and I don't have access to Sterling, so it's hard for me to help here.
Yeah. Another thing that I would add is when you get your results back from Sterling, people may not necessarily use the same email address in Sterling that they use in GivePulse. And so the results that you get back may have to be matched up to your volunteers. And if you have a large number of volunteers you're doing background checks for, that can be a little tedious. But when you're doing the import to GivePulse, it's really important that the first name, last name, and email address fields match exactly what's already in GivePulse. If they don't, you're going to be creating another account for someone. And so I do an export from GivePulse, just like Jackie shared a moment ago. And I use VLOOKUP in a lot of cases to match up the results from Sterling to the first name, last name, and email address from GivePulse in order to ensure that I'm uploading that to an existing GivePulse profile.
And I know we had Sterling, we had to reopen the contract with Sterling, and the prices are going to go up by $1. I just learned that. I think Jana's going to talk about it today during today's program coordinator meeting. And then the other thing I asked about last week, Jackie, was the